Good morning, and we're actually afternoon now. So, I am going to be doing something quick and simple today, but we're going to do several of them because I wanted to show you the different designs that we can do and make it quick and easy to get some holiday cards made, right? So, I don't know about you, I'm just now getting started. I know other people have been working on Christmas cards, right? But I know for myself, I have about 100 cards to send, over 100 cards I sent out at Christmas time. So now's a great time while it's hot outside to get started and making some holiday cards, right? Judy Allen here in San Antonio, Texas. It's all about, can you keep it simple or you can step it up? It's always the big decision. So last week we did this shaker card here, which also makes a good Christmas ornament. Just put the ribbon extended up to the top and you can put it on the tree. Today we're going to do something totally different from that type of design, right? Let me set that aside because I want you to focus on this. We're going to focus on using the dies in the hybrid embossing folder. And for those of you who've never used a hybrid embossing folder before, the beauty of it is you can either emboss it as is, which I didn't do that. I've actually did the hybrid on everything I've brought you as an example because I was on a mission, right? Now the key to this is when you go to emboss and do the die cutting simultaneously, you need to line it up, right? And you'll know because once you get it in here, it sort of locks in. See how they just sort of locks in? You know you're in the right place. Now what I do, once I do this here, is I usually take my paper, because it's going to fold down, right? So it's going to fold down. That's what it does when you do die cutting. So normally when we die cut, we would sit there, put our paper here, and fold this over. But because I want to make sure this is locked in really good to the design that's right here, I usually just take this here and I put my paper just like this here. Now this is actually, I measured this out earlier, it's 6 inches long and I think it was 4.5 wide. Let's see here. 4.5 wide, so that's how big it will take you. And we're going to show you, I'm going to show you some of the ones that I cut out smaller so you can just see what the difference is as well too. But you can see how it's going to lay out, and you're just going to run it through and sit there, and it die cuts, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. But at least I wanted to show this to you, all right? So you can see people always have a question about the hybrid embossing folders and why is it a hybrid? It's because it can die cut and emboss at the same time. Now, the other question is, will it mess up this over here? As long as you have paper and you're die cutting the whole thing with paper with your dies, it's not going to do anything to this. If I did a smaller piece of paper, because I already know this is 4.25 by 6 inches, let's say I decided to do a 3 by 5, which I could, then if I use a die and I'm die cutting and embossing simultaneously, then yes, the part that doesn't have paper under it will sit there and actually make some little notches right here. So it just depends on what you want to do and what you got going on, right? Okay, so let me put this aside because I just want to show you that because people always ask me, how does the hybrid folder work? That's why, because you can die cut and do it at the same time. Alright, so I'm going to go pull out some that I've already done, and because I wanted to show you how it works, and we can assemble them and let you make some choices here what you like. Alright, always like to get your input right on those choices. Let's see here if I can do this. I'm trying to see through the light. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's look at what we got here. So I've actually done, for me, I like to do blues at Christmas time. I like to do red. I also like to do pretty much the regals, right? The regal colors are always rich in color, and during the holidays I like to really use them. Alright, so here's the first one I'm going to show you. And I'm not necessarily locked into doing it just like this because I'm going to show you options, but I want to show you how this all pops up, right? So we've got them all different ones that pop up here where it's been die cut. So that's one thing about the hybrid embossing folder, right? It gives you some nice unique things. Now, depending on where you're going to place your paper, I actually, when I cut this actually came off because it was one of these that actually pops up. So be sure to look for any small pieces, and I just glued them down, that's all I did. But the nice thing is that this will easily tuck in right here for your holiday, whatever you want to put here. You can do it like this. You can hide that underneath and do it like this. Or you don't have to do any of it, you do your own thing. For this one, I particularly like doing this, and I was going to put this here, and then this is actually in the set too that we can do and put it out right here. So we're going to go ahead and do Joy, and I've got other colors as well I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. I'm going to glue this down, or I can use adhesive, either or. When I do the Joy though, I'll be sure to put that down with glue. And yes, there we go. right? So if you wanted to make this sort of like a calling card and put something on back of it, you can. I didn't, but you could, right? I always like choices. And if you're like they're not, I like choices. So this already, this you could either stamp, or in this particular case, I'm going to use the die cut words. And we're going to make another one here where we're going to actually stamp instead of using die cut words. But for quick and easy, this is quick and easy, right? Because I could run this through and have it all die cut at the same time, which I did. This one I had to do differently. And then we can put it right in here. Now I don't have to put this up. I was just going to do mine just like this here, right? So if you want it to be like a calling card, just leave it. Don't do anything on the back of it, right? If you want it to stay there, then just let's say we're just going to add some glue. All right, we don't have to add a lot. We can just add some. I'm going to tuck it back in, just like that. And then we can add some bling and ribbon. I already did some ribbon because I was trying to decide what I would like most. I might not like any of it, right? I did this one. Silver won't go, but I also did this color here. It's got a lot of gold in it. And so yeah, I'm not sure that I really want a ribbon or not, but if I did, I would most probably go with this one, right? I made a double bow because I like double bows. But we can definitely put some bling on here, okay? And I brought some bling. I want to show you some of these other ones here so we can see what our looks. This is cloud cover. I usually love to do mine in balmy blue, but cloud cover makes a very nice color as well. Now here you can see this is the hole 4 1/4 by 6. So I have to make a decision of where to cut this. If I'm going to put this right here on top, right? I could do it to 5 1/2, make it the whole front cover like this, and that's fine. But I'm still going to have to cut off 1/4 inch. Or you would have to go to a bigger cardstock, right? You could do a 4 by 6 if you wanted to, or 4 1/4 by 6. You just need a bigger envelope, that's all. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it, and that is the toughest choice I have right here today, is where do we want to cut it. I have to be careful in stretching my arm, okay? Pulled muscle is great, but I still have to watch how I pull my arm. So it's just a matter of positioning it right. So here is 5 1/2, and it just goes to show you what you cut off on this end. So we cut off some edges right here. If we flipped it around this way at 5 1/2 inches, then we would be cutting this right down here. Now you say, well, that seems like a better choice. So if that's what you want, that's fine. Just to let you know what that would be, okay? So we would still cut off some here, and I'll show you what I was talking about earlier. All right, so I'm going to peel this off, cut this off. Now see here how this one broke, this came off. That was off the piece over there. We're at 5 1/2, so we'll cover the whole front. Let's see if we have any other loose pieces. See, that's a loose piece there, and here's going to be a loose piece as well. All right? So it's just one thing as you do it that you just have to keep in mind. Look at the pieces, and we're just going to put them in here. All right? So all I did was I took this and glue. Let me make sure I'm going to like this before I start gluing this down. The grandson is in the background making comments there. He goes, oh yeah, you need to think about that. Okay, it's okay. I'm fine with that, all right? Just make sure you do it before you start gluing it down, because you're not going to be able to glue everything if you want the 3D look. We're just going to do it in certain spots. Yes, this is live. This is live, live house, things going on. You just don't have the dog barking yet. So yeah. Right, it's good to think about Christmas when it's like 98 degrees outside. Okay. We're just going to get this centered up the way we want it. And then we're just going to come and glue this here. Okay? I'm looking for my pieces. So this piece goes here. And this one's going to go here. I just put my glue right here. Right? We don't have to like... We just need enough glue to get it to stay, right? So it doesn't fall off. All right, so we're just going to put it down like that. It's like a puzzle, right? You're just putting the pieces into the puzzle. Nobody's going to know any difference because so much of this is lifted up, right, for the whole 3D look. See, we can lift these up as much as you want, all over you want. You can even use, I was looking for my tool here. Let's see if we got the one that's got the spatula on it. I do. Here's. I have several, right? So all you can do is just come in here and you can lift them up. This would be a really nice home decor piece too. The holidays. You can see you get some more right here. Now this is going to actually be squished down, so I'm not going to worry about that one, because the fact is I'm going to put my holiday greeting right in here. It's going to go right here. So this is cloud cover. Let's see if that's the right one. So this one I don't, if I do it this way, it's going to be a little off center, but it's going to have to be that way anyway, because unless my card's going to be upside down. Alright, so that's one thing you want to take a look at when you lay it down, is which direction it's going to go. Now, if I wanted to, I could sit up there and just stamp my sentiment coming this way without using the word joy. Now, I didn't bring my cloud cover with me, and I don't think I have one in paper pumpkin. So, right, they don't have it in the standard size pad for the cloud cover, but what we did do, and what I did do, is take one of the little blank ink spots, and I sat there and took the cloud cover refilled into the ink spot to use for my color. Let's see what we have in here that's going to be fit really nice here. So here's one that'd be really nice. And this is May the Spirit of the Season bring you hope, joy, and happiness, just like we did last week. The other one that would be good in here, well, actually these would be good in here, right? You could easily just put those in here and put it there. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to put this one right here, right? Since I sent their opportunity for creativity, we'll come back and we'll stamp this in here with cloud cover. All right? So let me just set this aside. And we also have ribbon that we could put with this. Let me show you the ribbon that we have. It's a matter of choice, right? It's just a matter if you want ribbon or not. Lots of times I don't with it because I've got so much already, right? I've got a lot of stuff going on. I could put some silver here. Right? So you have to tell me if you like ribbon on it or not. If I did ribbon, I'd most probably do it on this side here. But I got to get my words stamped on here first, right? Okay. So let me set that aside. And then I had the next one here that I did in Balmy Blue. Now this one I already glued down, so I already know I did this one correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of this. I got the joy over there, because actually I was going to originally do that. I could do joy as I'm doing that. Let me see there. See, the joy is going to go right across. It would hang off just a little bit. So that isn't what I was looking for. But I could if I wanted to, right? But I really have to be in a different mode. Today I'm not in that mode. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. And I'm just going to do like we did the other one. So these are just quick and easy cards that you can or cannot put bling on it, right? Depending on what you want to do. And it just depends if you like red. I used cherry cobbler, right? I didn't use real red. Did I do the same thing here? Let's see here. I didn't use real red. I used cherry cobbler. Okay, I think I did the same thing with this one. I did. Okay. All right. It's going to be one of those type of days, huh? Head of the game. All right. Yep, I'm just going to peel it off. Gently. All right. Because the truth of the matter is where you put it back down, nobody's going to see that unless they watch the video. Sometimes it seems painful to do this, but, right, because you created something, you hate to have to go and do that. But I just got through doing a tunic and making some different things with it. So, right, everything's an opportunity for creativity. So this one I'm just going to bring up, because I'm not going to do it twisted sideways again like I did the other one. I'm going to just put this one up here. Right. It won't be quite like the other one, right? So we're not a machine, right? We don't have to create everything exactly the same. And here I brought some bling. So I brought choices. I actually brought, let's see, I'm looking, here we go. All right. So I brought some standard choices. I got this one here. I also have some here. And the other one I thought would be great is either pearls, or I don't have them with me, is the holographic ones. I thought that would also be great. So if you're not sure, right, just try them out and see. So yes, though this is part, so I forgot that this month had 5 Wednesdays in it. So this is actually the free class to go through today. And I'm looking to think what I want to do that with. Let me get my spatula back. My hands are all sticky. Alright, let's just go ahead and get this here. Because we can. Because we can. Let me see if I got that turned around. Right, so it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. Right? I'm just going to put 3 right up here. Because it reminds me of the holly ones that they did last time. Last year we did the 3 little holly beads. Actually, and I think they're coming back because they didn't take them out. But see here, I did the red and all. So I'm just going to do it just like that. And we can put 3 down here too. That's an even number, not an odd number. So we'll have to think about that. But I like the idea and the concept, right? So we'll do the same thing. You know, when we go and create Christmas cards or any kind of cards for any, right? It's about creating, sharing, and giving. And you know what? I don't think anybody ever goes and says, you did this or you didn't do this or whatever. But for the sake of, since I always tell you odd numbers, we'll just put 1 down here. Okay, there we go. Now we have odd numbers. If you want to wrap ribbon on that, you can. You know, I sat there and showed you a bow, but let's talk about wrapping ribbon around it this way. Right? You can sit there and type wrap ribbon. See, for me, normally, I don't usually do ribbon when I sit there and use my foil, but you can, right? We aren't limited to not doing it. But I think this would be real pretty, and I will tell you right now, this is on Last Chance. And I went ahead and got me several rolls because I really go through this ribbon. I really like it. But I would just sit there and put your bow. We got the sparkle. You know, when you're sewing and you're doing paper crafting and I'm dealing with ribbon, it's like, okay, you think, am I sewing or am I what, right? Okay, let me just trim that off. I do like the silver and blue for Christmas. It helps I have some holiday decorations done in that manner too, right? Alright, so we got our bow here and we got some ribbon right there. That's just that easy to sit there and put some bling on here and put a bow on here as well too. Alright, so let me set this aside because let me get you the next design that's really nice and simple. So actually, for the kit to go, you're going to get 2 cards from last week, which would be like the one with the ornament and the shaker card. And this week you would get one of the one I just did and then this next design here. So this next design, we're going to actually do heat embossing because I think heat embossing looks really good with this. And I've done 3 different colors. This is being done with Pretty Peacock. And this actually is the gold foil we have right now. This one here is done with Cherry Cobbler. And this one is actually done with Basic Beige, right? And I thought this one, let's do this one here first. Now this one is going to be done where we're going to sit there. This is a 4 by 5 1/4, and I've actually come down halfway, which would be a little bit more than, it's an 1/8 more than 2 1/2. So that'd be 2 5/8. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bend this back just like here. And actually you can bend it all the way if you want to. I really like it when you can sit there and do this and just take a dimensional to anchor it down without squishing it down. You can do it either or, but I'm not doing it, laying it down just yet because of the fact, I'm just going to make sure I get it all the way here. I'm going to put this right here and then I'm going to come and mirror it, the same thing on this side. Now I'm not going to glue this down yet because we're going to have to stamp this and we're going to mark it so we know where we're going to stamp it, okay? And we're just going to come over here and do the same thing. We're just making sure that when we do this, we're going to take this back all the way to the corner here, all right? And I'm going to make sure I do it right there. And so when you do that, you get a mirrored effect there, okay? Right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a pencil mark, right? So that we know where we're going to stamp, where the center point of our stamping is going to be. It's going to be right here. And I can do that right about there to give me sort of the eye that we're going to do this here. All right, so we have 2 choices here. we can either heat emboss or we can just stamp. So actually I planned on just heat embossing here, all right? So if there's an opportunity for creativity, I already know how I'm going to do it. So when we sit there and line this up, right, I've done this deliberately so that I can sit there and stamp this here. This one I'm not going to do this. Originally I was going to do the Merry Christmas here, but since we're heat embossing, I'm not. I'm going to instead take the one we just looked at, and I'll show you how nice it'll fit right here, okay? But I need the pencil marks just so I get the idea of where I'm going to be stamping, right? So I know I'm going to be stamping right between those 2 points, and it'll fit just fine here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let me get another block. I have blocks everywhere. Now I got more blocks. All right, so we're just going to take this here. Okay, and we have our Versamark, and I actually have a blank sheet of paper today. Now keep in mind, the pencil marks are just right there. So that's just to give me an idea where the center point is that I want to be. And I already have my gold handy, right? Because gold's going to go really good with this one since we got the gold in the paper. And I'm just going to center this right about here, right? And then you can leave that there a moment, right? I don't have to like run around like crazy. I can hold on a minute. As my grandson's laughing in the background. Oh yeah. All right. Then we're just going to tap off the excess, not excess, right? See, I'm stretching that. My right arm has been like doing double duty for the left arm. I'm going to set this aside so we can get this. Yep, I stretched a little. That's okay. All right, we're just going to heat this up and heat emboss it, right? And those are just little tick marks, so it'll be easy just to go back and erase them. Yeah, we're just waiting, right? Waiting for it to change colors. So if you've never seen any embossing before, it changes colors on us, right? And that's how we know when it's done and ready. See how it's risen? It's changed colors. So you just want to make sure everything's raised up, right? Alright, so everything's raised up. Alright, so now we can come back and we're going to put this on here. Okay? Let's get that back down there. Okay, there we go. Alright, so then I'm just going to put this down with glue. And so this is really pretty. So the main thing is when you do this is take a look what's on the other side, right? To make sure you're going to like what's on the other side. So that's why I said these are quick and easy, because this one I really didn't have to do, right? I didn't have to do a whole lot. I heat embossed. I didn't have to. I could have used crumb cake. I could have used, I wouldn't use basic beige, but definitely crumb cake. I could have used a darker brown or richer brown, right? Okay, so we have this right here. Now we have that, I have a bow that I've made for this I think would look good. And I was just going to put that bow right there. All right, so we're just going to use a glue dot or two, whatever it takes. And hello, howdy from on the road. I know you're on your way home and you guys look like you had tons of fun. Tons of fun. It's always good when you get family together and do that. Alright, I'm just going to put this bow right here. Alright? So we have now just a very nice and easy card that we did. We just added a bow. We could add bling if we wanted to. But when you've got gold, I think you've got what you need, right? I'm just going to start right there. And you can do it as long as short as you wanted it. I have to get my angles the same. Yep. Okay, I'm coming over this way. I didn't do my angles the same. Alright, but anyway, there you go. There we've got a nice, easy card. You do have to stamp something on the inside, right? Or handwrite, either or. But there we go, we've got it right there. So there's one card that we did with a bow. Now let me do another card here. So these two, and I think the gold would show up really nice like that one did there. These I went ahead, this one I took, this is very vanilla that I'm going to put back here, and I'm going to stamp it. We're going to do just like we did then, except I've got this here instead, right? So instead of going to the card base, I'm actually going to stamp But you see how pretty this is. And save any of your leftovers. I had just a slim piece of this leftover when I got through. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm just going to put it on the inside of the card, right? Or I can put it on the envelope. I personally, when I've got gold foiled paper, I love gold foiled paper, and I like to use every bit of it that I can. So again, we're just going to do like we did the other one. We're just going to get it where it's right there. And it looks like it's right there about the same. Oops, we got to come all the way right there though, right? Okay, so we're pulling all the way out to the cut line, and we're just making sure our corners are here. Now see how pretty that's going to be. And this is peacock. Pretty peacock. Alright, so again, we're just going to do like we did just a minute ago. Now, I did not plan on heat embossing this. I could. Let me, again, I've got to mark my tick marks. We'll go ahead and heat emboss this one because I don't have the other here with me, but this one I'm just going to do Merry Christmas, okay? Now, this one will be a little bit trickier because I've got to heat emboss both, right? So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to put the Merry right up here, and the Christmas, we got to make sure it fits right here without being covered up. Okay, now see here, my Merry Christmas isn't going to fit in this window. It'll fit right here in the center. Then I would have to put Merry up here, which I'm okay with that because I can put bling down here and do anything I want to. So let's start with the Christmas first. Right? I think Pretty Peacock's a very pretty color. I wouldn't have thought of doing this for Christmas, but when you have gold foiled paper that's got Pretty Peacock, guess what? We're doing Pretty Peacock. Alright, let me just close this a second. I want to get the dust all over it. I just put the dust over here. Alright. Here we go. And we'll sprinkle this. You know, I'm trying to see it because it's clear, right? Alright. Again, we'll just dust that off. So yes, you can. You know, the thing is, if you have a Stamparatus or something that you can repeatedly stamp over something, you can actually, let's see if I can get gold dust everywhere. You can actually stamp back over this, right? And do it several times if that's what you wish. So we'll heat emboss it, and we'll get the Merry above it, and then you'll see how nice that looks. So in this particular case, I will most likely put bling on the word Christmas, right? Just to pull it all together, because I can. So there you go, you can see it changing. I'm just going to show you these today because it's all about choices and options, right? And, you know, while we might go out there and make a card that's all super fancy, 4 or 5 layers, okay. But truly, if you're going to put out 100 cards, you might still need to start the first of the year, right? Let's get the other one. So it's all about what you have for time, but you know what? It's just creating something that's beautiful that you enjoy to give to someone. That's what it's really all about. Tell you the other thing is I'm looking at this here. I'm going to get this one stamped and I'll show you what we can do with the other. So you have plenty of room right here, right? So we can do that right there, and we're going to put our powder back on here and heat emboss this. Yeah, I'll dump it all back in a minute. I'm going to show you how it's not going to mess this up at all. So I've been there, done that. If anything messes it up, is if you touch this before you've heat embossed it, you'll mess it up. That I do know. I've done enough angels to know. Alright, we'll heat emboss this. And I'm looking through the stash of stuff I brought to see what we're going to want to put with this. Oh, I know already. Okay. Alright, see how that just heats up nicely? Didn't mess up at the bottom. Alright, so we're going to put this layer on. Okay. Now, I don't mind doing this right here, but if I was going to have to die cut something, I would not run my embossed words through a die cutting because it's going to sort of smush it down or whatever. But doing it something like this isn't going to do that. Alright, so we're just going to center this up. Alright, and then we're just going to put this right here. Now, one thing I want you to think about is we could just as easily turn the card this way. In fact, as I'm looking at this right now, I'm thinking that I might like it better the other way. So, let me get this back where I had it. Okay. Alright, so see how this is here? Alright, so I didn't get that quite right. So it's an opportunity for creativity. So for me, it's an opportunity just to flip it around. Do it just like this. Well, I can't do that because I just did that. I'm looking for my solution at the moment. Alright, so if I have to come up with a solution right here, Johnny on the spot. I'm trying to think what I would do. I'm thinking for sure. Alright, so if I had to come up with Johnny on the spot and make a change to this right here, I think I would just take it and I would pull it back right here. See, I can pull it back right there. It would be a little short, right? If not, I could trim it off as well too. So if I trimmed it off a smidgen, like maybe 1/4 of an inch, all right? Let's go with 1/8. I'd rather go short first, right? I'd rather go short first, and if I needed to trim a little bit more, then trim a little bit more, then take off too much. And I have another opportunity, right? Okay, so let's see here. I was going to flip that over, which that would have been nice to flip over too. Okay, so it's a personal preference, right? That'll work. That'll be a little bit shorter than the ends, but that'll be okay. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and do this right here. All right, so I just took off maybe a 1/16 of an inch, I guess is what it would be. Yeah, a 1/16 of an inch. I don't know, stuff like that is like, ugh. All right, so this I can't. Now this I'm going to have to go ahead and do glue. All right, which is fine. Just go ahead and glue it down. But I think the main thing is that we can just make some quick and easy cards, right? If it's not quite where you want it, just make a little tweaking adjustment. Nobody's going to know. Everybody's going to be delighted that you made them a card. And I'm just going to push it down just a little bit because I got some glue there, right? All right, so let's look at bling because we can easily put some bling in here. Let's see if you think this is too much gold or not, right? Oh, I did. I know, I might have to cut off a little bit more. I don't know. Right, that was my quick solution. Great minds think alike. I really like this. We're going to go ahead and put these on here. It's just a matter if we want the bigger ones or the small ones. Let's start in the middle. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and use these because I think they're just really pretty. So give it a little just extra accent. And let's see. So I showed you the one ribbon we did like that. And we could easily do this here. Linda, you've been proud this morning. I was busy making bows, double bows. Alright, silver's not going to work, but here's another double bow I'm created. And if I did it, I would most likely do it where it would come out like this right here, right? Because I just think that'd be really cool. So let's see. Here was the other one I made. I don't know that I'm going to like this color with this though. Because this is really, let's see, this is really a green, right? This is, so that's really not there. So let's try this one. Oh, we have one more. We have this one, but I think this one's not going to work. Even when I pulled this one out, it's just because I like it so much. I just want it to work on everything. Let's see what we can do. So yes, this is a gold mesh. They had one not too long ago that wasn't gold mesh. It was silver mesh. And I love that one too. All right, let's see what we think, Linda. Let's see what we think. I'm going to just pull it down. Cut some off. Oops. There we go. So I have been known too, if this is too thick and we didn't like it this thick, I have been known to twirl it to make it thinner. Right? can also just sort of squish it together like this if you don't want to twirl it. It's really like wrapping a Christmas present or a present in general. Shouldn't say it because we got several people in our family that have birthdays at Christmas time. So we do have to make birthday presents at Christmas time. People are born every day, every month, right? There's somebody out there with a birthday during the holiday season. So I don't know. You'll have to let me know, Linda, what you think. I love this. You know me. I love this ribbon. I use this ribbon on anything and everything I can. It just makes it look like a Christmas present. I can tuck it right here, right? Because I got those down in dimensionals. It won't really matter. It's just fun, right? It's just fun. It's festive and fun. There you go. Oh yeah, I like that ribbon. Oh yeah, that's a keeper. All right, last one. All right, so this one I was just going to show you. So I put white under this one. This is Cherry Cobbler. Cherry Cobbler is just another Christmas color that I think is really pretty. I like this better than Real Red with this. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do this one like I was talking about the one a minute ago that I messed up on. I shouldn't say, didn't mess up. I created my own opportunity for creativity, right? I'm going to do the same thing here, but this one we're actually going to stamp this way. All right, and I did so right when it's like this. I thought it was just easier to put one of these behind it. And again, we're going to make some tick marks with pencils. You know, whenever I say that, I always think, is it T-I-C-K or T-I-C? It's T-I-C. But I think of the T-I-K. That's just from being in the woods, right? I'm going to put this right here. And I just like the color combo here, right? And the other thing about gold embossing on the paper like that, it's very forgiving. So if you got to pull something up, you can put it back down. All right, just want to make sure they're like pretty close there. Okay. All right, so this one here, we're gonna do the check mark, and we're gonna do this one in Cherry Cobbler. I'm looking for my Cherry Cobbler. I see my Cherry Cobbler. And I'm just going to show you the difference, right? Because if you don't like it, then sit there and don't do Cherry Cobbler, right? Do the gold. We can do gold all day long. I don't mind doing gold all day long. But I'm going to do my tick mark here. And I'm going to put it right here because I know it's about the halfway mark. And I'm going to do the Merry Christmas this time. Now, the good thing is if there's perchance I don't do it right, and I have an opportunity, that's fine because I can just flip the paper over. I didn't glue this one down. All right. So I'm going to do this right here. And I'm just going to center it to my 2 pencil points here. I know I'm thinking it's like, oh my gosh. All right, there's Christmas, and we'll get Mary here. So I just flipped it over, right? Because this way I can get them closer to each other, and I don't accidentally stamp the paper with the other one while I'm at it. Okay? That's just FYI. All right. So let's see how this is going to look to make sure I got this one centered. Okay. There we go. All right. I like that, right? So I think the gold would be just as pretty. Don't get me wrong. I think gold would look really nice here, but I thought it was just a nice change. Do something different. Just to show you get choices and options. Like I said, it's just as easy to do because all we've done is taken a 4x5 quarter of beautiful paper, come halfway down, and we've cut it in 2 inches. We just cut it in 2 inches is all we've done. And you do or don't have to sit there and put those down. You could actually fold these down. So if you didn't want to do this and you just want to squish these down and just fold them, you can do that. Okay? That's the beauty of this paper. Anyway you go, it's still going to look beautiful. Just a matter of if you want the more of a 3D look or not, right? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, right? It's options, right? This is in the half month to go kit. So the Adventure Club kit is the sailboat, the sailing, sunrise sailing. Which, hey, to me, there's no reason why a sailboat can't be Christmas too. I was already thinking about that this morning. It's like, hello, There's a lot of people in their sailboats or in their boats at Christmas time, right? It just depends on what people's preferences are. So this one, actually, you can see I folded this down. Just so you can see the difference. Here, where I didn't fold it down, this one where I did, we can still put a bow here, right? And we can still put some bling. So this gold bling is going to really look great here. It's going to really make this pop. I'm just going to start in the center first and go from there. Just eyeballing it, right? You get a measuring tape out or anything. Especially get a measuring tape out, it's like, okay, we're in trouble, because it's like that now has become too much effort on my part when I've got over 100 Christmas cards to do by Christmas. Actually, you have to have them done before Christmas, all right? So don't think Christmas. Think you really want to mail these out most probably around Thanksgiving time, right? So just so I can get you jump started. And this is going to look nice here too. So I'm going to put this on here as well because I like it. So yeah, we'll just take it out. Allow me some bow, so I can make a bow. So I can, if you know, just like I did the other one, I could easily tuck this right here. And I can easily tuck it right here if I want to, right? It's just whatever you want. And we're just going to take and make our bow. So really this is, you know, gold looks really, really pretty on all of them, but I like this one particularly, and I like the off-white too that I used the basic beige with. I mean, I didn't do very vanilla. I could have done very vanilla. But boy, when you use this material here, it's just like you're wrapping a present, right? So think of this way too, as I'm thinking 3D projects, right? Because we do 3D projects. How pretty would this be to make this into a box, right? Have this be the lid to the box, right? We can do that. There you go. So I'm just going to trim it off. Just another idea, right? I can come up with ideas. I just can't come up with enough time to do all the ideas. But how cool would that be? All right, so I'm already thinking 3D project, making it into a box. Oh yeah, there you go. So let me show you what we did today. They were all quick and easy, right? So we did one here where I did the gold here to the side. We did the same thing. I did Merry Christmas, heat embossed. Here I just did the same color. We just folded it back. And I did this one here too. I like this ribbon, but it's not big and wide like that one. So the thing is, I have been known also to go and glue this as well if I can't get this day. But anyway, so I actually used this ribbon instead, and we did a little bit more words with it. All right. And then here's what else. So what you're going to do, so Linda, so you're asking to, so you're going to get a couple of these. You can get one of each of these. And then you would get also from last week as well too, since we combine both weeks. So if you have a preference, because if you have a preference of color, you could let me know, and I could do your preference of color. It would be one of these designs here, or one of these designs over here. So we created a lot of things today because I wanted to show you different options because they're easy, right? You figure we've been 43 minutes, and in 43 minutes we have created 6 cards. So there you go. That's what it's about, right? Oh, it would be a beautiful box. I know, I'm already thinking I have to make a box now. So I hope you enjoy this, and I want to thank you for joining in today, and I'm glad you're going to be home soon. Whoop, whoop. So there. So I want to thank you not only for joining in today, but I also want to thank you for supporting us not only here on Facebook, but also on YouTube and Instagram. And with that, have an amazingly blessed week, and look forward to seeing you next week when we start with another stamp set. All right? Be blessed. See you soon. Bye.